Hello, metal lords and ladies. Once again, this isn't the best lighting situation in this room, but I'm still filming on my phone, so it's a little bit better than usual, right? We can work with this, okay? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so today I thought I would talk about how I got into metal. I promise one day I will be done talking about high school, but since I got into metal pretty much in high school, we're going to talk about high school again. How did I get into metal? Where to begin? In middle school, I liked rock. I cycled through a bit of rock. The pop punk was big. I liked a lot of pop punk, and then as I got into high school, rock was getting big. I remember in 8th grade, I fell in love with Korn, even though their song Here to Stay was out when I was in 8th grade. And I thought, even though it was so morbid, there was something about it that I just loved, and I'd listen to it over and over. Anyway, I'm not going to try to get too detailed on everything, but there were bands like Slipknot and Mushroom Head that were kind of big, and I was chatting with a stranger online, which is what everybody did back in the day, and he suggested I listen to Mudvayne. And they weren't really in the mainstream, so it was kind of hard to find some Mudvayne to listen to. I think once again I was listening to samples on like CD websites. And when I had just graduated 8th grade, we went on a trip to a big mall in my area, and they had a Sam Goody CD store, and I bought Mudvayne's LD50. And I just knew that I was supposed to like it. The only Mudvayne I had really heard was from samples and stuff, and a lot of it was the singing. What's his name? Ryan? Chad? I don't know. Was the lead singer's clean vocals. And I knew that I loved that. And then when I bought this album, I realized that it was a lot of screaming more so than singing. And God, that album is dark. I just re-listened to the whole thing recently. It is so dark. But it was jarring for me at first, but I knew that I had to keep listening. And I did. And I don't know, it's still quite possible that I've listened to that CD more than any other CD ever. But I listened to it a lot. I was totally obsessed with Mudvayne. And I honestly didn't really know of any bands like them. In junior high, just like, I don't know, somehow I had heard of a few bands. Like, I'd heard of Cradle of Filth. I used to listen to one song, Funeral in Carpathia, over and over. I don't know why or where that came from. I'd heard of Kitty, and I had heard of King Diamond. And like I said in another video recently, I didn't understand that all these bands were part of a much bigger world. So I do give Mudvayne my credit as being my gateway band, but then in 10th grade, stuff got serious. And I'm sorry if this is a bit of a repeat from other videos you may have seen, but in 10th grade, I was in Hot Topic and I saw this compilation CD called Metal for the Masses. And I was like, this is cool. I think maybe it had like one band I had heard of on it, and I was like, let me find out what this is all about, like what they think is metal. I'm gonna listen to this and see what it is. And the CD was a 2-pack. The first was like a 22 track audio CD, and then the second CD was an MP3 disc with like 160 MP3s on it from 3 different record labels, connected record labels: Century Media, Olympic, and Nuclear Blast. And that opened the floodgates, and it was never the same. And after listening to Metal for the Masses a lot, I started to really learn my way around, like, this was a world. These were a whole bunch of labels and bands. It was an entire community. And I think it's important to talk to other people in the community. When you're getting into metal, people can play such a key role in how you develop. So, Deep South, young teenager, band shirts aren't easy to come by. I don't think I even knew what a band shirt was. But what kids did do was write on their backpack their favorite bands. So I was like, I started writing my favorite bands on there. I can't remember what all I wrote, but I knew I wrote like Nevermore and Nightwish or something like that. And that's how you start talking to people. So I met a couple of metal friends throughout my early high school years, and we just started writing notes and hanging out and just talking on the phone and talking more and more. And they really kind of shaped my perspectives and kind of gave me more knowledge. And everyone kind of influenced each other, like this is cool and this isn't cool and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, got it. But over time, I've thrown all that elitism out the window. And then a lot of burning CDs was involved, and unfortunately, a lot of downloading music was involved through sites like Kazaa and LimeWire. But that's just how I had to get a lot of my music. And again, metal magazines were a huge role. And then a little bit on the internet. I wasn't too deep into that yet. And then MySpace was a great way to connect with bands and find new bands. And it just became my favorite thing. The bands that became my favorite bands are still my favorite bands now. I guess I'm just a creature of habit, or maybe I'm just a girl who knows what she likes. Okay, and the way people listened to music was CDs, and also downloading and then burning them onto CDs, or burning CDs for your friends. And if you had the kind of technology where you could do that, you were a high-level friend. So this was my CD case. I only wish you could feel how heavy it is. But here's what I've got, just like random stickers. Oh, I'm proud of this Rotten Record sticker though. And after high school, the rest of my metal journey continued. Metal was a great way for me to initiate conversations with people and make friends, and I was able to trade a lot of music with people, especially throughout college, as I started to meet people that liked metal or genres that connected to metal in some way. And then of course after my first year of college, I started going to concerts. I started with Typo Negative, and then after that, boom, I've been to like 50 or 60 concerts, probably getting closer to 60 now. Metal friends now, they're kind of like few and far between. You guys are my metal friends. I'm thankful for that. Some of my metal friends live far away. Some of them have kids, and just I can't think of the word I'm trying to say, but just like the format of everybody's lives has changed, and being an adult, it's weird, like it's different, it's harder to meet people. But that's part of why I started this channel, just so I can like talk about metal with somebody. But yeah, that's it. That's my metal story. I seriously owe everything to Metal for the Masses Volume 2. It changed my life forever. It was like my baptism or something. I thought it would be fun to kind of take a peek through this and just kind of see the kind of stuff that I had. I know that burning CDs is bad, that downloading music is bad. I don't do that anymore. Please forgive me for having so much burned material in here. Okay. I used to carry this with me everywhere. I forgot to mention, after CDs, my senior year of high school in 2005, I spent $350 on an iPod. I can't remember how many gigs it was. 30 on a 30 gig iPod. I spent $350 on a 30 gig iPod, but I still ended up carrying this dang thing. It took me a long time to transition. Okay, Asgard. This is still my favorite CD ever. I guess I had this in alphabetical order. And these aren't all of my CDs, and I have taken some of them out to travel with and stuff like that. But this is kind of pretty much how I left it in high school / college. I have a lot of burned CDs with various bands like Burzum, Cryptopsy, Emperor, Demolich. Is it Demolich or Demolish? See, I don't even know. Someone's schooling me with Atheist. Demigod. Yeah, this is how we did it back then, man. Dark Tranquility, Death, Dark Funeral. Oh, and I got a lot of compilation CDs. Look at this. Look at this. I listened to this so much. Look how pathetic that is. Oh my god. I forgot about these identity compilation CDs from Century Media. Oh my god. King Diamond. The Covenant, Camelot. Dying. Lacuna Coil. Leaves Eyes. I was into almost anything that had a female vocalist. Here it is, y'all. The thing that changed me forever. Ah. And then every other metal for the masses after that just wasn't good, in my opinion. And here's the other CD that started it all, Mudvayne LD50. Oh, and this was one of my favorite albums ever. Napalm Death, Obituary, Old Man's Child, Sonata Arctica, Samael. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I loved them. That was so good. Silent Green, Typo Negative, Typo Negative, Theater of Tragedy. This was my first Typo Negative CD. Tiamat, Vehement. Federal Secrete. Okay, there it was. That was a little look into my old CD case and just a little review of how I got into metal and everything. I hope you liked it. I feel like I've been kind of unplugged lately. Like, I used to be on top of everything. Like, I knew all the new bands, I knew all the latest albums, and in adulthood, like, everything changes. You just have so much less time. That's hard to put into words, but I've had a great life with metal, and it's never going to leave my life. It'll always be a part of me and a part of my greatest passions. So I hope somebody found this interesting. And I'm probably going to remember some really important thing that I left out, but oh well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye forever.